Hello everyone, I thought I should share some of the lessons that I've learned with the launch of Guild Commander. So the game itself hasn't done all that great. It's got mixed reviews, probably more negative than positive. And the reviews below, the reviewers explain why that's so. So you can see some negative ones and positive ones as well. So I went through and read them all and came to some conclusions as well about it. And I thought I should actually just really share those lessons that I've learned through the whole experience. So, also the Greenlight experience as well, and also with the launch of the game. So it's not done that well, but either way, it's still an accomplishment in that it's a technical accomplishment. But as a game itself, a lot of people don't find it very fun or engaging. Although for me it was fun and engaging, but then I guess I'm a niche audience myself. Alright, so the important lessons learned. So one of them is that with the Steam store, that regardless of what I'd written, so I've just documented them here because they are important. I want to make sure that I do make sure that I don't forget to tell you any of these points. And I guess you could say that it's taken a lot of time to come to these lessons learned, so I do hope that they might be of some use to you guys. Anyway, so the first one is, regardless of what I'd written on the store page, people expected Guild Commander to be much more than what they're getting. So despite whatever I'd written on it, it's just like it's like people kind of ignore what's written, and they watch the video as well. There's even a video showing of how the game plays, but even that it seems like they ignore, and they still buy it, and then they're disappointed, which is unfortunate. I'd rather that people don't buy it if they feel like they're going to be disappointed. I'd much rather they don't. That's why I've gone to the effort of showing the gameplay and explaining the game itself as briefly as I could. But anyway, so that's it. That's the nature of it. So I guess that's also an inherent problem in the game, Guild Commander. I've tried to take on something that's too big for one person. A team is needed. I guess because when people see a game like Guild Commander, people are expecting it to just be full of features and full of stuff to do. And it's just not that. It's not something that one person can achieve unless they spend years working on it. Another thing too that I've learned is that gaming has changed. It's maybe I'm getting old or something, but people don't like to experiment without clearly understanding what the risks and rewards are. So yeah, they really people don't like experiencing failure these days. I don't know, it's a bit different. Like, I don't mind at all. I don't mind actually playing a game and being challenged and then failing, and then, oh, maybe I'll try that or this. And even though it's not clear at all what the end result will be, I don't mind trying those things out. But I guess things have changed. Maybe it's because the game is available to a wider audience. Perhaps that's it. That as a result, maybe the majority of people, they don't like that kind of experience. They need to know clearly what are the risks and what are the rewards by taking a certain approach. So they need to know everything, all the numbers, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of makes the game too transparent, because even real life's not like that. People don't like to sit back and wait for something to happen. They need to be constantly doing something. So I had made Guild Commander as such that if you are playing on an easier difficulty, then once you have all the provinces at Prosperous, you can sit back and relax. That was the idea anyway. I didn't mind that. I quite like that. I can just sit back and relax until something happens. But actually, no, a lot of gamers don't like that. They don't like waiting for something to happen. They like to be constantly progressing the situation or the gameplay itself. So that's something I have to keep in mind for next time. That's what the majority of people want. Gamers, they also want to have their say on how an indie game should play. So next time I really should start with early access. So this game, I had taken it all the way, I'd polished it, and for me it was a lot of fun. I'd also gotten quite a bit of good feedback from the Greenlight process as well. I had a demo available then too, and based off that, I was confident that the game was, final. That's it. That there's nothing more that I should be working on. There are actually no serious bugs at all. So that was it. But no, it's not that way. So on Steam, an indie game like this, which has experimental gameplay, I guess it is experimental, that it should be early access regardless. Next time I'll keep that in mind, that it should be early access, because the gamers, they want to put in their 2 cents. Well, I suppose more than that. Another thing too is that this is for other developers who are looking to get onto Steam. Just remember that Steam is no golden ticket. So I already know that from previous launches of the GT/GD series, that basically, if you're an indie developer and you sell for example, 10,000 copies in your first week, then you are actually doing really well. It's more likely you'll sell that in a whole year. That's what's most likely to happen. So just remember that Steam is not some sort of golden ticket. You do need to put in a lot of effort in terms of building a community, marketing, and even so, it's just that there's just so many games for people to play that you're not likely to grab a big audience. Just a small audience. Also depends on the type of game too, I guess I should say that as well. So Guild Commander is a niche game, so it attracts a niche audience. Some Greenlight lessons. So for Greenlight, having a video explaining how the game works is important. So people did give positive feedback on that they really liked seeing how the game works in the video instead of just a trailer for Greenlight, just a 1 minute trailer or something like that. People actually appreciated having this 10-minute video explaining and really showing how the game works and how it runs and what it looks like, and people are in no doubt of how the gameplay works at all. So people appreciated that. So that's something I've learned, so I'll keep to that. I'll use that next time as well. Another thing, having a playable demo really helps. That's a great idea to have a playable demo. A lot of Greenlight entries don't have a playable demo, but I think it's a pretty good idea to have one. Based off what I've learned now, the feedback from people who try out the demo during Greenlight, it's very good, and it keeps you active and engaged too. When people are taking an interest and giving you feedback, you feel like developing some more. And the people who are giving feedback in Greenlight, they're more constructive than the people after a game is released, so they're much more helpful. Yeah, unfortunately, a sad fact is that nice looking visuals are important. So if you're going through Greenlight, yes, people do judge a book by its cover. So unfortunately, yes, Greenlight is important, because people only spend they only spend maybe 10 seconds if you're lucky looking at your Greenlight entry. That's the majority of people. Only a minority will stay back and actually read everything, look at all the screenshots and watch the video. That's the important minority, but still you want that majority to be voting positively for you for your Greenlight title. So unfortunately, you can't really easily get around that unless your game is so interesting that people they just have to say yes. That's the alternative if the game is really interesting. Alright, so coming back to, in general, the Steam store, the Steam community can be feral. So, what I've learned through my experience is that just resist replying to forum posts. Just hold off. Don't reply at all. You'll see people post stuff. If you want to, just turn off the notifications too that your people are commenting on your community forums. Why? Because other players will get on and they will actually reply to people who are posting stuff. And very often people will post, it's very often you'll see a post that's just meant to annoy the developer, to try and make the developer say something, so that then the trolls can basically have their fun. So basically, if you don't say anything, then there's just nothing to happen. And if there is an argument going on in the community forum, in one of your game's forums, one of the threads, then just let it go, and when you find an opportunity to, and it usually will arise, then you can say something that will basically calm the situation down, and then you can just lock the thread after people have sort of made peace, or even if they haven't. And then that's it, then you just move on, doesn't matter. So that's my advice, just what I've learned from my experience with Steam over, I guess, over the last year and a bit, is that just hold off on posting. Don't reply even like to the reviews on the store page, unless it's really like blatantly off and completely wrong. But if you can see that it's just the gamer's opinion, and you can tell that they've played it, then just leave it. It is what it is. That's how their opinion is. That's what it is. Finish. Okay, and then the last point on this for the lessons learned is being honest is best. So you'll be happier and freer for it. And also, no one can hold a grudge against you for that. Even if your game's not well rated, because you're honest, no one can say anything against that. So that's what I've done with Guild Commander. I've described it exactly as it is. There's nothing at all to mislead anyone in any way as to what the game is or what it's like, and the video is ultra clear. The description on the store page is short but very clear. You understand that it's a really simple game, and so on. So that's very important. If you have that, if you've done that, you're being clear and honest as well about the description of your game. No one can say anything whatsoever against you in any way whatsoever. Despite the fact that people don't like the game, they won't be able to say anything against you in that regard. And I think that's the most important thing, actually. Look, the game might not be fun for some people, for a majority, but that's the nature of the thing, that if your game is bug-free, so if you made your game to be free of serious bugs, and it plays, and the mechanics aren't terrible or anything, it's just different, and it's a bit unusual, the gameplay, and people don't like it, well then that's fine, because there are still people who do enjoy it. So there's always a niche audience for anything. So just remember that. Okay, so I've probably gone rambling on a bit, I guess. So what will I do next time? So based on what I've learned, next time I need to build a community first before even approaching Greenlight, before even bothering with Greenlight, because the community will give the necessary feedback to help make the game a success in the first place. So what do I mean by that? I guess create a IndieDB space for the game, and because there you can have articles, you can write articles about your game, your video, you can have the videos there, and the most helpful thing is you can put up a download of your game as well, of your demo or whatever it is. You can actually put up a download so that people can try it out and give you feedback. And I think I would also make a Steam community group as well. Reason being because, the gamers are on Steam, so it's much easier for them to get their friends involved as well through Steam. So IndieDB, you can have a lot more information. You can have the download links there, the detailed stuff, and then the Steam community group. Perhaps maybe that's where I can have the people come to and engage. Well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. Alright, so, and number two, I'm just one developer, so next time my game should be simpler. It should be small and simpler. And I should just focus on making the core mechanic as enjoyable as possible. So I should avoid trying to make the game too complex or anything like that, or have, a lot of simulation happening in the background. Because that is just a bit too much for one developer to take care of, unless unless I'm willing to spend years and years on it. And no, I'd rather not do that. Just a few years, but not years upon years, because that'll just drag on forever. and also become really boring too as a developer. And you also, as a developer, I mean, I want to keep moving on, doing new things. Also, the next thing I learned was, and that I should do next time, is to just focus on fun more than anything else. So if I find what I'm developing fun, then I can continue to work on it. Otherwise, I should stop. Just put it aside. If it's not fun, then that's it. So before Guild Commander, I had tried a number of other things, and yeah, I didn't find them that great, so I dumped them. But I found Guild Commander fun, and I enjoyed working on it, so I took that all the way. But now I know that it should be fun more than anything else. People should just play it, and they find it enjoyable. And let's see. Next time as well, I would implement multiplayer. Make the game multiplayer. And since it's a simple type of game, a small game, then it's not that hard to, it wouldn't be super hard to program or anything. So like, for example, as a single developer, it wouldn't be sensible for me to go and try and make, you know, an MMORPG or something like that. That's just silly. So one person shouldn't be really trying to do that unless they're willing to spend 10 years on it. By then it'll be outdated as well. So as a single developer, you know, something simple, maybe like a simple type of RTS game with factions and multiplayer, and maybe no story whatsoever, because that sort of thing takes a team to develop. So something simple, engaging, people can play with their friends, and then just put it aside when they're finished and come back to it later if they want to. So I think the best form of advertising, you know, is when a friend tells another friend about the game that they're playing. So that's where multiplayer also helps as well. It helps to engage multiple players, you know, in a chain effect. Where a single player, it's really based off, well, I guess it can be word of mouth, but not as much as multiplayer, because friends want to play with their friends. And that's what happens to me too. People want to play with me on the, you know, this game or that, so it makes sense. And early access, as I was saying before, is important for an indie developer. So that's it. Next time, the game that I would develop, I would just take it to a point where it's playable, it's fun to play, but it's not complete. It's not finished. You know, it doesn't have to be bug-free. It doesn't have to look visually polished yet. It should be just playable, and it should be fun. That's the most important thing, and that's the point at which to try and have it greenlit, and then, you know, have it put into early access so that people can really have their say about how it should work. Alright, well, those are some of the things that I've thought of. Maybe I'll have more later. But, you know, that's it. Those are the most important things that I've learned over the past year and a bit of being on Steam and developing content for Steam. And I do hope that helps some of you, at least, that some of this advice is useful. And anyhow, I'll keep you guys updated with whatever I do next, and try to, I guess, as much as possible in future. Yeah, something I should also do in future is that I should try to keep, you know, people more in the loop, that people are subscribing to, like, for example, I have a YouTube channel, this channel that you're watching this from, and, you know, when people click subscribe, you know, they're subscribing for a reason, because they want to see future videos from the person that they've subscribed to, whether they're tutorials or just future content being developed or games or so on. So really I should probably engage with my subscribers a bit more, you know, show them a bit more of what I'm working on, or some more of the things, you know, behind the scenes. You know, you could, I don't think that's an appropriate term, because it's just on a computer and it's just programming. You know, more of the game being developed as it's being developed, you know, as I'm actually making some of the decisions I'm making, and get some feedback that way, and just show people some of the thought process that's involved in that as well. Just because I think that might be helpful too for developers, other hobby developers like myself. Alright, well, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope this might be of some use to you guys. Alright, goodbye.